What up, YouTube? Welcome back. So guess what? I'm in Texas. Yeah, man, the Cowboy State. Finally reached on Texas here. Anyway, today is Friday, April 11th, and it's another important milestone. Friday, April 11th. As a matter of fact, two important things to talk about. April 11th today makes it 5 months over the road as a Class A CDL truck driver. Yeah. And another important milestone is that I'm now at 250 YouTube subscribers. Yeah. Love that YouTube. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks, guys, for following the channel. And as if you don't click the subscribe button yet, click it, man. Subscribe. And as usual, if you're watching the video, click the like button. Yeah, man. It supports the channel. Anyway, we're going to discuss a little topic. But first, watch this little clip. Watch this little clip.
I really hate this job. I really hate this job. I don't want to do this anymore. It's nobody gives a fuck. I don't even think my company gives a fuck. My company doesn't give a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. Everybody's rude as fuck. You don't even know me. You don't know me. I don't know you. Why do you have an attitude? I didn't do anything to you. I feel like the companies, they don't really have the driver's backs when it comes to certain stuff. And on top of that, the pay is shit. Why am I coming here?
All right, so notice what the young lady was talking about. How people talk to her, you know? How these people are rude. And we're talking about shippers and receivers, you know? People who work in shipping office and receiving office at the various locations that you go and drop freight and pick up freight. And I spoke about this in a previous video that I did, you know, when I was relating my experience thus far, you know. These people don't know how to talk to people. But I've gone a bit further. I've made certain other observations, you know, and I have been deliberate when I've gone to any of these shippers and receivers to watch how they speak to certain people, you know, people of a different race, people of a different type of complexion. They don't speak to them like that, you know, and I'm really upset about it because, you know, I didn't know that this was how America is in today's society. But if you're coming out here to be a truck driver and you look like me, have my complexion, you have to be prepared for that. Because that is my experience so far. It's really sad to say it, but it is the fact. And I'm not happy about it. But what can I do? I'm already here. I've already committed a lot to be here. So I have to do what I have to do now and then get out of it. Now, as it relates to the pay, I don't think the pay is shitty. And if you have a certain level of education, well, you don't have to be a truck driver. But if you're a person who will have to end up working at Burger King, McDonald's, and all those little food franchises, a truck driver job is much better. And I'm also of the understanding that you can be even a college graduate and you don't get what a truck you don't make right off the bat what a truck driver makes. So let me do some maths. I just went over to a pilot truck stop near where I'm parked now, and there's a McDonald's there, and it so happens that there was a chart there indicating what the pay is like over there. Take a look. Look at that. That is the pay scale at this place. So you tell me, I'd rather do trucking than work for that kind of money. All right, so looking at that chart says that if you come in as a full-time worker at McDonald's, entry level, you'll be making $11 an hour. So that is $88 for 8-hour day. Now, if you are an entry level CDL Class A truck driver, means you're just coming in from CDL school, your rate per mile minimum would be like 38 cents per mile, right? That is the base pay, right? So for that same 8 hours, if you are driving 50 miles per hour, in 8 hours you would have covered 400 miles. So your days pay, when you calculate that 38 cents times the 400 miles that you would have driven, you're talking about $152 for your day. And listen, 50 miles per hour, nobody come out here and drive 50 miles per hour unless the speed limit is 50 miles per hour. The average speed right out here, I would calculate it at minimum 55 miles per hour. So you will be making more, but let it remain at 50 miles per hour. So there you will be making $152. So for a 40-hour work week working at McDonald's, and mind you, this is Texas. That chart is a McDonald's in Texas here, and trust me, the rates don't differ much across states. So for the 40-hour work week there at McDonald's, you're talking about $440 for the week. Now, if you are driving 50 miles per hour, 8 hours per day, in 40 hours, you would have done 2,000 miles. And at the base rate of 38 cents per mile, you're talking about $760 for a 40-hour work week. So when you compare them, 440 for 40-hour work week, 760, we're talking about 40-something percent, 42% there about more money. You'll be working 42% more money out here as an entry-level CDL Class A truck driver. Now, if you look further on the chart, you know, as manager, certified manager, will be making $15 an hour, right? That's about $120 for the day, for the 8-hour day. There's no big difference. So you, as a truck driver, will be making more than a manager there. Now, look at this now. If you are out here for over 6 months as a truck driver, after 6 months experience, you can end up going to a company who will take you with 6 months experience and pay you 55 cents per mile, and you will end up getting like layover fee. That is if you're waiting at for that company to give you your next load and it's taking too long. You will get detention pay. That is if you're at a shipper or receiver and they're taking long to unload you. And that's like, detention pay is like from $25 to $100, you know, depending on the arrangement with the various carrier and shipper. So you will start, after 6 months you start making like net $1,100, $1,200 per week, right? Now, if you are a college graduate, you don't have to come work for a Burger King or work as a Class A CDL truck driver. No, you can go find a corporate job. And it is also my understanding that a lot of college graduates don't make the money that a truck driver with 1 year experience makes. And remember, you know, there you can transition into buying your own truck and being a own operator, right? In a year. And that is where now you're going to see better money. Yeah, people out there who have been trucking for quite a long time, yeah, I've seen better days. But we're dealing with the here and now. And I don't believe, it is my opinion that for me, driving a truck for a mega carrier is much better than working at Walmart and all of these places. Because one, the same people who we as truckers have to deal with sometime once a day or every other day or every 3 days, you have to deal with these people every day in these kind of in those kind other kind of work environment. And I'd rather be out here alone and having to deal with them on a daily basis. The next thing is people complaining. The young lady also mentioned about the mega carriers. They don't the carriers, the companies don't care. They don't give a bleep. No, they don't. Especially the mega carriers. You're just a number, and you have to know that these mega carriers have between minimum 7,000 to 10,000 drivers out there, right? You're just a number. Yeah, they're not going to love you up and care about you, because they are hiring and they are firing numerous drivers on a daily basis. You don't get chances here. You know, you make a mistake, you're out. You're fired. And then when they fire you, they are writing things on your doc report that makes it hard for you to get a next job. You know you can end up get fired from a mega company, a mega carrier, and you don't have a messed up CDL and still can't get a job because what they put on your EDOC. That's how it is. So you have to just try and be careful. We're not perfect, but try and be careful and get yourself out of the situation as soon as possible. But for me, I prefer working as a truck driver. In closing, what I would say to you guys out there, come out here with a plan. Educate yourself about what is going on in and around the industry. Know what to expect, so when you come out here, things don't just pop up and surprise you. Right? There's good and bad in every industry. Right? And I just started out in trucking, and I don't think it's the worst. Right? It is okay. Take your time, gather the experience, look for better jobs. A person with a Class A CDL driver's license, you with a clean driving record, can get snatched up like that. You know, that license is valuable, and I think that, you know, especially a young person that don't have a lot of responsibility, it's a good way to start. And if you're at my age and you're reshuffling, restarting life, you know, and you're not tied down, even if you have family, let them understand that this is what is needed to be done in order for us to be more financially stable. I know a lot of persons who have used trucking to make themselves comfortable, and then now they're at the point that they don't have to be over the road like constantly 2 weeks at a time. They can go out there 2-3 days for the week and make enough money, you know, because they already have money in the bank, and they just need to cover certain bills and have certain amount of money. They have other business going on and so on. You know, you have to listen to what is put out there on social media, but be smart about it. You know, do your own research. So thanks for watching, and thanks guys for helping me reach 250 subscribers. I appreciate it. Continue to subscribe, continue to like the channel, and I'll be making more content as I go along now. Respect.